This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. President Trump announces his decision on the future of the Iran nuclear deal. And on New York's Fifth Avenue, the Met Gala saw many stars aligning again. Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Vanica Santos.
And I'm Manuel Fuentes.
President Trump has announced that the United States will withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal. He's calling for the highest standard of sanctioning by the United States against Iran. He says that there is definitive proof that Iran has been lying about the nuclear program and the deal will inevitably fail.
The Iranian regime is the leading state sponsor of terror. It exports dangerous missiles, fuels conflicts across the Middle East, and supports terrorist proxies and militias such as Hezbollah, Hamas, the Taliban, and Al-Qaeda. Over the years, Iran and its proxies have bombed American embassies and military installations, murdered hundreds of American service members, and kidnapped, imprisoned, and tortured American citizens.
Calling the agreement a great embarrassment to him and all American citizens, Trump says he will introduce his own sanctions over the next few months. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says that he ordered his foreign minister to negotiate with other countries for a nuclear deal.
President Trump is still defending his choice of nominee Gina Haspel to lead the CIA. Her confirmation hearing in the Senate is set to begin tomorrow. Amid reports that Haspel had offered to withdraw her nomination last week to avoid the controversy over her past. Haspel reportedly met with White House officials on Friday who were able to persuade her to stick with the nomination. Haspel played a role in the George W. Bush era questioning al-Qaeda terrorists, using interrogation programs that employ illegal techniques like waterboarding. She was also involved in the destruction of videotapes of the interrogation, although no charges were brought. If Haspel is approved, she will be the first woman to lead the CIA.
1,000 hostages have been released by the Nigerian army after a week battling with Islamic extremist group Boko Haram. The operation to free the hostages has been going on since April 28th. Since then, 50 militants have been killed by the army. The hostages, mostly women and children, were freed in Borneo, in the northeastern region of Nigeria. A statement from the Nigerian army says the hostages are being treated in a medical facility.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions says the Department of Justice and Homeland Security will partner to prosecute anyone who illegally crosses the southwest border, even if that means separating children from parents. Sessions says they will have zero tolerance for anyone who violates their policies.
Unlawfully, if you smuggle illegal aliens across our border, then we will prosecute you. If you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you. And that child may be separated from you as required by law.
In the past, people who were caught crossing the border illegally were just sent back to Mexico. But with the new policy, illegal border crossers will be referred by Homeland Security to federal prosecutors and could face up to 6 months in prison. Families who are caught will be separated, with the children sent to juvenile facilities.
Unemployment rates continue to lower. Matador News reporter Nick Logan has more on reactions from CSUN students.
Thank you, Vanica. Job opportunities are opening up in America, and some say the U.S. economy is stronger than it's been in a while. Unemployment is under 4% for the first time since 2000, and in March, job openings reached a record-breaking 6.5 million. Some graduating CSUN students say they are excited about their future given this news.
Definitely, because starting college, it was definitely hard to get jobs, so knowing that once we're going to graduate, that jobs are more available to us, that's really exciting.
It's amazing, and I'm very positive and looking forward to push another step in my life.
Well, I need to brush up on my resume, and I've already made some changes on like LinkedIn and Monster.com. So I haven't really decided exactly 100% what my next move is, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm just psyched out about just graduating at this point.
All right. What to do after school can be difficult for some, but with more jobs becoming available, this question should be easier to answer. Now let's go back to Manuel in the studio for more news.
Thank you, Nick. A massive volcanic eruption in Leilani Estates on the Big Island of Hawaii is not over yet. The Hawaii Civil Defense says 35 structures, including at least 26 homes, were destroyed yesterday. Authorities are asking tourists and sightseers to avoid the lava, since it's bursting through giant cracks in the ground and releasing dangerous fumes. Governor David Ige says keeping people safe is the #1 priority.
Heartbreaking to see the homes and families who have lost everything, and especially the situation with the lava and the dangerous gases. We just want to keep everyone safe and continue to look at what we can do to prepare.
The volcano erupted last Thursday, but lava and fumes continue to flow. All of 1,700 residents of Leilani Estates were considered to evacuate.
A massive labor strike across University of California campuses forced UC medical centers to cancel more than 12,000 scheduled surgeries and treatments. 20,000 members of the largest UC employment union walked off after their jobs yesterday. The 3-day strike include cooks, gardeners, lab technicians, and nurses, in addition
because we all realize that there is
system.
a disparity between the higher-ups and people who actually take care of our patients. And we care about our patients. We want to be able to provide good health care for our patients, but we need to be taken care of so that we can do that.
Two altercations involving protesters were reported at UCLA and UC Santa Cruz. At UCLA, a man who drove into the crowd was arrested. And Senator Kamala Harris announces that she will not speak as scheduled at the UC Berkeley graduation, in solidarity with the labor strikers. The UC campuses remain open during the protests, and campuses are still running their classes on regular schedule.
A magnitude 4.5 earthquake struck the Riverside County north of the 10th freeway of 449 this morning. The quake hit about 7 miles north of Cabazon and about 9 miles northeast of Banning. The U.S. Geological Survey says the epicenter was near the northern edge of Morongo Indian Reservation. 2 minutes later, an aftershock of 3.2 was reported. Los Angeles County Fire Department says there were no reports of damages or injuries.
5 people have been injured in a series of shootings over the weekend in San Diego. The latest was at 11 p.m. last night in the East Village section of downtown. Police say 3 men and 1 woman were standing on a street corner when 2 men approached and started firing. 4 people were injured, 2 of them seriously, but all are expected to survive.
Chatsworth residents says they spotted street racers doing dove nuts in neighborhood intersections. For a 3rd weekend in a row, the rogue motorists were seen driving at high speeds. The resident says these extreme drivers are blocking major intersections and keeping other drivers from getting home safely. 50 to 100 spectators reportedly parked their cars this past weekend on Cinco de Mayo to watch what appeared to be a staged event. Police received a call, but the participants were all gone by the time they arrived. Authorities says they will start sending multiple units and a helicopter in the future.
An armed gunman is in custody after barricading himself inside a South LA apartment complex this morning. The man is said to have fired a shot in the air and around in the morning on West 42nd Street. Officials were working to reach a peaceful resolution shortly before the man was taken into custody. SWAT was called to the home, and residents in the surrounding areas were evacuated safely.
And now, here's Karissa Preciado with more news in business.
Thank you, Manuel. Los Angeles tourism is on the rise again. The Los Angeles and Tourism Convention Board says more than 48 million people visited LA in 2017. This led to an all-time high of some $22 billion coming into the LA economy. Mayor Garcetti says the city breaks records year after year because Los Angeles has always been a place that welcomes the world. Total visitation grew more than 2.5% in 2017. Nestle signed a $7 billion deal with Starbucks. The Swiss company is hoping to revive its coffee sales. Nestle is known to dominate the world's coffee industry, but Nestle's coffee is not so popular with younger consumers. The new deal signed yesterday allows Nestle to sell and distribute Starbucks products such as coffee and teas worldwide. About 500 Starbucks employees will join Nestle. Playoff season is getting hot. We have more with Rico Bruce.
Thank you, Karissa. The NBA players are heating up. It looks like we're getting close to knowing who will meet in the conference finals. But crazy things happen before in the playoffs. For the third straight season, the Cleveland Cavaliers eliminated the Toronto Raptors this year in a 4-game sweep, while the 76ers saved themselves by winning Game 4 over the Celtics. The Celtics still lead the series 3-1, so the 76ers have a lot of work to do to make a comeback. LeBron James was dominant again, finishing with 29 points, 11 assists, and 8 rebounds. The Cavs are now the only team sure of entering the Eastern Conference Championship as they wait for the Celtics or the 76ers. In the West, Golden State is up 3-1 against New Orleans, and Houston is up 3-1 against Utah. 5 teams remain in pursuit of the Stanley Cup after the Washington Capitals eliminate rival Pittsburgh Penguins, the defending Stanley Cup champions, in overtime of Game 6. For the first time since 1998, the Capitals are heading on to the Eastern Conference Finals. For the first time in his career, Alex Ovechkin's team has advanced to a conference championship round. Ovechkin has 7 points in the last 6 games over the Penguins. In the West, the Nashville Predators won Game 6 with a dominating 4-0 win over the Winnipeg Jets, forcing a deciding Game 7 back in Nashville. Philip Forsberg was on a roll in Game 6 with a ridiculous between-the-leg shot to give the Predators a 3-0 lead in the third period. With the 3-3 series, Game 7 should be interesting. The puck is set to drop on the final game of the second-round playoffs on Thursday evening at 8. A New York couple is charged with lying about their son having cancer. Martin and Jolene LaFrance allegedly faked the story that their son CJ had Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2017. The Cayuga County Sheriff's Office said the family received more than $3,000 in donations, and CJ got to visit with the Syracuse University football team. After a 4-month investigation, the Cayuga County Sheriff discovered CJ had never been diagnosed with cancer. They charged his parents with the scheme to defraud, and with endangering the welfare of the child, the parents will appear in court next week. Class and style was the move for this past weekend. Here's more with the story with Karissa.
The annual Met Gala was held last night. It's a fundraising gala for the benefit of the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute in New York City. The extravagant ball has been an event that has attracted the stars in music, entertainment, film, and fashion industry since 1948. Each year's event celebrates the theme of the year's Costume Institute exhibition. This year's theme was Heavenly Bodies, Fashion and Catholic Imagination. Celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, and Ariana Grande and Cardi B were among those who attended the event. Vogue's editor-in-chief Anna Wintour co-chaired the event this year with Rihanna and Amal Clooney. Wintour has organized both the events, the benefit committee, and guest list of the Met Gala since 1995. The exhibit will be open to the public until October 18th. Singer Janet Jackson will be honored at the Billboard Music Awards. The 5-time Grammy winner is set to receive the Billboard Icon Award. She has won 10 Billboard Awards from 1990 to 2001. Jackson is also set to perform at the award show. This will be her first performance on television since 9 years. The award show will be airing live on May 20th from the GMG Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Pop singer Kelly Clarkson will also be the host. Donnie Glover, is also known as Childish Gambino, has released his newest video, This Is America. This video tackles police brutality, gun violence, and media misdirection. Gambino dances moves seems to be aimed to distract the audience from the chaos that is happening in the backgrounds of the video. Gambino's perhaps pointing out that America pays more attention to social media trends instead of the country's problems. Let's take it back to Rico with the latest news on health.
A new survey from an American Psychiatric Association says 39% of Americans feel more anxious now than they did last year. Americans say their anxiety comes from financial fears, worries about keeping their families safe, and concerns about health. The survey found that most anxious Americans are millennials, adults younger than 50. About 1/3 of all men and more than half of women say they are more anxious than last year. The University of Kentucky researchers found possible new ways to treat or manage epilepsy, seizures. Epilepsy is a group of disorders involving recurrent seizures. Epilepsy can start at any age, but it mostly begins during childhood. Around 1/3 of epilepsy patients do not respond well to anti-seizure drugs. But now, researchers say, the cause and effect is based on dysfunctional blood-brain barrier, suggesting some new ways to treat and manage seizures. Now let's go back to the newsroom with Matador news reporter Karen Ruiz for more news.
Thank you, Rico. With the semester coming to an end and finals coming up, the mental health service at Cal State universities are at higher demands. The only problem is that there may not be enough counselors for all the students requesting the service. The California faculty says the average ratio at CSU campuses is more than 2,000 students to one counselor. Here's what some seasoned students have to say.
They should hire more counselors because I feel like it's something important, not just to like the students, but for the teachers, because it can help the teachers as well, like how to help the student if the student's like overwhelmed or needs help with when it comes to like tests or quizzes or whatever it is.
Because like students are like in the finals of their like testing, I guess they get more anxiety, and so therefore like I guess they're encouraged more by others to go and take advantage of the resource.
When it comes to finals week, like many of the students go through like stress, and then like they don't know how to manage their time, so I feel like they go through anxiety and sometimes they don't know how to cope with them, or like they don't have anybody to help them.
The International Association of Counseling Services recommends campuses provide one counselor for every 1,500 students. Now back to the studio with more news and weather.
Yesterday, the coldest and hottest temperatures in the nation were both in California, with 108 degrees in Death Valley and 20 degrees in Bodie State Park. That's why we love it here. Expect to see clear skies over the weekend, clear skies and with highs in the mid-80s. The weekend will be slightly cloudy.
If you want Chipotle to host your baby shower, all you have to do is deliver your baby in the restaurant's parking lot. The parents, who coincidentally met while working at Chipotle, were on the way to the hospital when the baby couldn't wait any longer. They pulled into the closet parking lot, which happened to the Chipotle, and called 911. The dispatcher stayed on the phone and helped the couple deliver the baby. Due to the rarity of their situation, Chipotle invited the parents and their families back to celebrate a baby shower, which included a burrito-shaped cake. Jaden Alvarez was born at 9:11 in the morning on April 10th near Denver, Colorado.
Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Vanica Santos.
Now Manuel Fuentes.
And I'm Rico Bruce.
And I'm Karissa Preciado.